We're here in the middle of the San Jose Guerrero Pavement to Parks Trial Plaza, which is really exciting because right where I'm sitting about a year ago would have been a street. Now we have this trial pedestrian plaza, a mini park, if you will, and it's part of the Pavement to Parks program. It's an innovative initiative led by the mayor and the planning department here in San Francisco to take underutilized street space and give it back to people.
So here behind us is the city's first parklet, which is a new design typology under the Pavement to Parks program. And the idea here really is to sort of very simply and relatively cheaply build out a platform into the parking lane, essentially taking the grade of a sidewalk out into the street, and just providing on top of that sort of a variety of different amenities. So cafe tables and chairs where appropriate, benching, bike parking, some landscaping.
As far as I know, we're the first full operation restaurant, beer, wine, sandwiches, food, breakfast, lunch, dinner that also is attached directly, all one business, to a full service and sales bicycle shop, and now has a patio courtesy of the city and county of San Francisco.
At the end of last year, we sort of got the idea sort of inspired by the sort of the reclamation of parking lanes, with programs like Parking Day and such, to really think about ways that we could sort of have smaller scale interventions in places where we had a lot of commercial activity, a lot of pedestrian activity on the streets, a lot of bicyclist activity, and looking for places where we could really repurpose and sort of more equitably distribute the limited road right-of-way.
I'm from down south, and there's just so many kind of suburban strip mall, endless places of kind of the same thing, and places like this just have a unique character that I think is really great.
What's not to like? I mean, you get rid of a couple of parking spaces, you add a lot of outdoor tables. I mean, that's what San Francisco is all about.
The space is working amazingly well. We've been packed every single day since it opened. We've had probably a 30% increase in business already. We've had to hire some more people.
Our pilot Pavement to Park project, our first plaza project, was at the intersection of 17th, Castro, and Market Street, which was a place in the city where we had multiple street grids coming together. So we had a very awkward space for pedestrians, for cyclists, and the idea was to regularize that intersection and in doing so provide some great public space. From that project we did two sort of concurrently, one at the intersection of 8th and 16th in a neighborhood called Lower Potrero, Showplace Square. At the same time we also put in a project at the intersections of San Jose and Guerrero.
The architect Jane Martin of Plant SF found these trees in an old park and rec facility. They had recently been uprooted from Golden Gate Park because they were old and they were dying. Very first trees that were planted in Golden Gate Park back when it was just sand dunes, I think 150 years ago. We've seen a very active community group here that advocated for this space, and then actually a lot of the maintenance of the space is done by neighbors.
If I had a business somewhere else and was witnessing what's happening around here, I would be on the phone to the city trying to make my spot the next location.
Every cafe ought to have something like this.
This is what makes San Francisco such a unique place.
Assuming that the trial program goes well, by the end of the year, the goal is to have a permit system up and running that would allow essentially any entity, any business, any commercial group, residential group, ultimately to apply for a permit and be able to do this on their own.